Today's guest is Lyndsay Wilson, who's a host of the Business of Glam. And today we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk about beauty and fitness in Glam Bar, Denver.
Can't wait. All right, this is the Ask the BCE Show, episode number 33. I'm your host, Kurt Belding, and I am the blue-collar entrepreneur. Today I have a guest, Miss Lyndsay Wilson. Still Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Miss Lyndsay Wilson owns Glam Bar downtown on 9th and Lincoln, downtown Denver. And this is not real. I mean, business is my realm. Beauty is not my realm. So, like, if you guys are out there and we're going to mix the two together, business and glam, Lyndsay would be the absolute perfect person to ask those questions to. So if you want to know anything about eyebrows or eyelashes and hair, it's not me. It's Lyndsay today. So, let's start way back on how we got to know each other.
I know,
I've known Lyndsay forever.
Yeah.
At least how many years?
So we've decided it's probably been 10 since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
And then it was like 4 or 5 years. So like 20 years.
Yeah, we talked
Something
a little
like that.
bit here and there, and I saw that you started a podcast, and I watched a little bit. I'm like, you got to come on my podcast.
Exactly.
Let's do this. This will be fun. Lyndsay known me since I was homeless, living on a couch.
Yeah.
And when I started my first real business, that was 100% mine. So you've seen me from the beginning. I didn't get to see you from the beginning of your business. I didn't realize that you owned a business till about 6 months ago when I started seeing some podcasts that you've done. So fill me in. Why did you start a business? What inspired you to start a business and that business? Tell me from the beginning.
So I have been in plastic surgery for a long time. So always been in the beauty industry and was with a plastic surgeon for about 7 years and learned a lot about small business ownership and what it takes to kind of run a well-oiled machine. Knew enough to be dangerous. Got the 7-year itch and wanted to do something on my own and kind of build something.
So you were with more of a small business, mom and pop, because I don't associate plastic surgery with small business. I think there's a lot of money in that. It's probably a big business.
For sure.
Small.
Well, he moved into a really large facility in 2008 when kind of an economic crash happened. So he tripled everything overhead. And so it was all about trying to find a way to make it work when people weren't really spending
that's business
so
right
much
there.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to downsize. You got to make cuts. You got to lower your liabilities. All right. So 7 years in, you're like, it's time for me to do my own thing.
Yes.
Where did the concept of Glam Bar come from?
So I looked at franchising a blow dry bar. I thought it would be fun. A couple girlfriends and I went to New York for a little girls trip. We all went and tested the different dry bar, blow. So I was going down the road with blow.
I don't even know what that is. You guys know what that is? What's a blow dry bar?
You go.
Here's what I'm envisioning. I have whiskey and a blow dryer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm envisioning right now.
So you get your hair washed and styled, basically. Kind of like a new age of what our grandparents or great grandparents did, like the weekly salon visit. You get your hair curled, but
big thing you put. Yeah.
So it's a little more updated than that. So you're just kind of washing and styling. And then the idea kind of came from me getting off work late one night and I was going down kind of the road with blow. And I was like, I am having to get a spray tan. I'm having to get my nails done. I'm going out of town. I'm running all over town and don't have enough time. I'm begging people to stay open for me. And so I was like, wouldn't it be so great if you had everything in one stop? And so you could just hit one place and be able to get a great spray tan. You can get your hair done. You can do everything under one roof. So
one-stop shop.
I walked away from the franchise, looking into the franchise and started. I was like, I know enough. I can do this.
Yeah.
I was just naive enough to start my own business.
You knew just enough to not know shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of tread and water and oh shit, what did I do?
Yeah.
But it's been fun. So we'll be open 4 years in September.
Great. And at 4-year mark, you're starting to become, I said earlier, a mature business because the first couple of years, it's volatile as hell. Let me back up real quick, and this might be a long podcast, and I apologize to all my viewers, but I want to know more. Here's what I'm super interested in is you worked for somebody else, and you decided to do your own thing. That variable right there, I'm super interested in because it's my belief that you're born an entrepreneur, that you can't just decide one day to be an entrepreneur. So do you agree with that? And then if you do or don't, I want you to tell me about that transition of working for someone and then now it's your own thing.
It's a big transition. I do think that it is true. Like, you kind of are always like born to do that. And when I've worked for other people, I always looked at their business like it was my business. So when I was managing or helping him out, I was like, how would I want my business run? And so I always kind of looked at work that way and kind of always put my all into it and worked whatever hours needed to be done and worked as hard as I could for whoever I was working for.
I think that is a huge point that everyone needs to hear is if you're working for a company, working for a business, small, big, whatever, own it. Have that ownership of that company, and you're going to be of value to your employer. That's one thing I've been preaching really hard on is be more value than what you're paid.
Totally.
Always bring more value than what you're paid. Right?
So always like kind of just went above and beyond and looked at things like it was my own. So I learned enough to be dangerous from him and decided like probably a little into that, like my last year there in my 7th year, I was like, I'm so sick of doing this for somebody else. Like, if I'm going to put in all the hours and I'm going to do all of this hard work and like stress out all day, every day about what's going on, I'm going to do it for myself.
Why not build your own brand?
Exactly.
You're building someone else's. Yeah.
So that's kind of what started that venture. And it was a big transition because obviously like you get paid well, you have insurance, you have a 401k, like all of these things that like I don't know anything about anymore.
Yeah. We have the security. So like
totally,
which I think needs to be said too, because there's entrepreneurship so glorified right now. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Everyone wants to start their own business, be a Instagram influencer, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But what they don't get is you're taking an enormous risk of security. There's no guaranteed paycheck once you own your own business.
No. And you have to pay if you have employees, that's who you worry about paying. You're like, I'll steal from Peter to pay Paul to like make sure that they have a paycheck and they're going to show up for work tomorrow.
Is the right way to think about it. There's a lot of companies out there that if they're not hitting their numbers for shareholders, cut their staff to hit the numbers. So people are losing jobs that way, where like my philosophy is same as yours is I work for my employees. My employees don't work for me.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've made the decision, you just started it. Tell me about that experience. And I'm sure people want to know is how stressful is that? Right.
Well, like you said, there is no guarantee. So, and I was just naive enough that I was like, oh, we'll just open the doors and like everybody will come in.
Yeah.
It'll be so
great. If you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
Right.
I have friends and we have like great visibility. We're on a major street in downtown Denver. Like there's condos up above. Like we'll just open the doors and we'll be so busy.
Right.
Didn't happen that way. I still look back on my business plan and like look at the numbers that I thought I was going to hit in like 6 months. And I'm like, oh, that would be nice if I was hitting them today. Like 3.5 years later, I'm still not like where I thought I would be in like a 3-month period. It was just being naive and like throwing numbers at the wall.
And you know but that's what a business plan is for. And sure. I think a business plan is super valuable. But when people don't understand that business plan that you first created is not the business plan you're going to be following.
Oh my God, I'm so different. And I like every year anniversary, I love to go back and reread the business plan. And I like laugh. I'm just like dying laughing. I'm like,
that didn't work out as planned.
Whether numbers or like different services that we're offering or how different that we are. Originally, I just wanted to do blowouts and not do other hair services. So for like the first 6 months to a year, we were just doing blowouts. And then I had stylists that were like, I actually want to work here full time. I had other people working out of other salons doing like hair color and larger dollar services. And I was like, I guess I am kind of stupid that I'm not doing that here. That I'm like, here's your client. And
one-stop shop, right?
So we added in color and cuts and extensions and doing everything under one roof. So
hold on one second. Hey, we got a little bit of technical difficulties. Kayla, is it? All right, we're back. Maybe we'll do like a little commercial break there, Reese, and like slide in a commercial right there.
Totally, just or do plug something.
Like technical difficulty. I don't know what it is, but anyway, let's. So you decided not to do a one service. You're going to bring more services into your business.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's been lots of change from the business plan that I originated with. But I think just to answer the question of kind of getting started and going through that, I basically had like the universe like shoving me into getting started in business. I had a friend of a friend that was willing to do a business loan for me, like so I didn't have to go to the bank and do that.
Nice. Yeah.
I found a space in the Beauvalon building and it had complimentary parking, and it was like my first day out looking at different spaces. So I was just like, I have to do this. It's now or never. Like rip the Band-Aid, and whatever I don't know, I'll figure out along the way.
That's exactly right.
So it was just all the stars aligned, and I was like, it's now or never.
100%. And when things just fall into place, you're right. Like I feel like that's the universe putting you in. And there's times that I've tried opening businesses where it was struggle. It was like pulling teeth. Everything is going wrong, and I'm forcing it. And I was like, whoa, let me just back up, take a breather here real quick. And I'm trying to open up a gym right now, and that's what's happening to me too. Is everything was awesome and laid in place, and all of a sudden, problem. I'm like, let me just pause, real quick, and then just see what this really is, and see if I can continue to go through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So now you're 4 years in.
Yeah.
And you're reaching that mature level of business. Tell me a little more about what your business is now compared to what it started out to be. Yeah.
It is extremely different. We offer a ton more services. We've added skincare, and we've, like I said, added a lot more hair services, and we've kind of just like grown and adapted with changes in the beauty industry and added in new technology or new product lines, whatever's kind of like the hot new thing. And I think just business-wise, give yourself time is always my best advice. And it really does. It seems like 3 years, everybody's like, oh, you're mature. You've like made it. Now everything's going to get easy, which I'm still waiting for that easy. Things are easier. I think you learn what to stress about and what not to stress about, or you already have a solution to a problem that pops up with staffing or whatever it might be. But just kind of giving yourself that time and grace and build that brand awareness for yourself. And client referral is always huge for us. So like building those relationships with clients where they start to trust you to do something else and kind of are now seeing you for everything. So it's just time is the best thing that happened. There's no magic formula. It was just literally like giving yourself a little bit more time to be able to do all of those things.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot of people that, again, that want to start their own business and they want everything right away. They want results. Oh, wait, I've been working really hard for 3 months.
Yeah.
Why am I not making a lot of money? I'm like, I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm still not really paying myself. You know, like it takes time. And here's the value of time is if you want to own your own business, start as fast as possible because time is a commodity that you can never get back. You can't get it back. And it takes a lot of time to be good at whatever business you're going to do. For sure. You're going to have to fail a lot. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of failures in there. That's how you learn. You can't learn entrepreneurship in college. No. There's absolutely you can't. No. You have to fail. That's how you learn entrepreneurship. So share with us some failures along the way.
I think my first failure was construction. And I was
Which was pretty early on, right?
Which was really early on. And I was like, oh, you mean like we're over budget and we're not going to be done on time and permits are a problem to pull and we have to wait and we can't get started. And like what turned into 4 weeks ended up being longer and more expensive.
Double, I bet. Yeah.
One of the best pieces of advice that I got whenever I first decided to start business was it's going to cost you twice as much than you think. And it's going to take you twice as long to get where you want to be. And it's 100% true.
That's some good advice right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, wow, it is twice as much as I thought construction was going to be. Yeah. So there's so many different questions that I would ask now going into building something out and just a different timeline and not making changes and just being way more streamlined than I was at that time. And just kind of like struggling to be like, it's going to be fine. You know, I like was hiring people and then we couldn't open. And so I was like, stay with me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like we will be open one day. And then they literally called and were like, okay, you're ready to go. Our website wasn't live. like nothing was up and running. And I was like, well, we have to do it. Like spent the weekend moving in and opened like that Monday. So it was all just like super fast.
Sure.
I think other failures, like staffing failures, I think trying to force something, like you said, you're kind of desperate when you first open and you just need staff members and you need people to provide the services, or at least I did, needed people to perform those services for me. And it was just like, I'll take anybody, whoever wants to work for me. Oh, you want to work for me? And like, there's nothing on the books and we just literally opened like, and I wanted to build a family and I wanted to have it be more of like a family environment. I wanted it to be a space that you could run kind of your own business under the security of somebody else kind of doing things for you.
Sure.
And I was trying to force those people into those roles that they just weren't meant to be in or be a part of my business, or that we just really weren't a great fit for each other.
Right. Which you had to go through that to learn and find that out.
Totally.
And here's new entrepreneurship is everything is the worst case scenario.
Oh yeah.
If something goes wrong, we're 4 weeks out on construction that's the world's going to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 weeks of not being able to make money.
Yeah.
That you have to survive or keep staff members entertained to hang on with you. So it's always the end of the world.
Yeah. Every little problem is the end of the world.
Huge.
And that's one thing we learn as we evolve as entrepreneurs. Is like, no, I've been through that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You think you can't survive.
Yeah.
I remember thinking
I'm
like,
going to go out of business. I haven't even started yet.
I'm like, construction, I'm never going to survive. Like staff members leaving, I'm never going to survive. Who's going to keep coming back when they're gone? And you do survive and you keep going. And so when those transitions happen later on, I think you move through them a lot faster.
Yeah. That 100%. And as far as like employees, that's a lesson I've learned. I'm still learning. Like I see great things in employees and I'm trying to push them to be someone they're not really.
Yeah.
Be. So that's one thing I've learned is like, all right, this is who this person is. I'm going to optimize the best I can, get the most performance out of that employee as I can to push them to be a better, whatever person, employee.
Totally.
But I can't make them be someone they're not. Yeah.
It's their journey. That's what I've learned. I'm like, this is your journey. I can tell you what I would do, but this is your life. Be who you want to be. And you do see great potential and amazing people. And you're like, oh, you're so close to like being something so great. Not that you're not great, but.
Absolutely. But you can't lead a horse to water and make it drink, right? Like you do everything you can in your power. And if they just choose not to, they choose not to. There's nothing we can control about that. Now we're talking earlier about what makes your business different than any other glam bar, any other business like yours. And a big point you brought up was the experience. So tell us about and I've been hitting on this hard lately whenever I'm talking on social or on my podcast about what makes what makes a brick and mortar successful is not anything except the experience. That's why people walk in the door is to have a great experience. Otherwise, they don't buy it online. Now, they probably can't buy a pedicure online. Like you need to physically be there or whatever, right? But like talk about your experience, how that's different than anything else.
I think that was one of my very first things was my mission statement was I want to create a VIP experience for everybody because we all like to know the owner, right? You like to be like, oh, I know Fit Republic. I know the owner, Kurt. Like you want to like kind of be in that know. And I think having amazing staff members that I do and people that really put their heart and soul into what they're doing and have passion for the service that they're providing, create a relationship with the clients that is that VIP experience. So it's very family and friendly. And like I was telling you, a lot of times you wouldn't know if it's like my best friend in the salon or if it's a client. And 9 times out of 10, it's a client, but we know everything that's going on in their life. We know what they like to drink. We like all really take that to heart to really provide an amazing experience for everybody and to be on top of like what they need and to be the experts for them. So you can buy product online, but what's perfect for your hair or what's perfect for your skin or the problem that you're having, it's a lot harder to do when you're trying to be the expert behind the computer or reading reviews from other people that have used products
which those reviews are more likely skewed because it's a company placing the review.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're really getting or if it's perfect for you, for your hair type, for your skin. And so we really pride ourselves on being the experts and learning kind of everything that's in the beauty industry. Even if we don't provide it, we want to know about Botox and what the new plastic surgery procedures that are coming out or new skincare products that are happening, because those are the things that we talk about to clients every day.
So you hit on so many awesome points I just want to pull out of there. Is one, innovation. Always be innovating, always be growing, because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Exactly.
You can't be staying the same. And the experience. I think any business owner out there right now owns a brick and mortar business, even an online business. It's about the consumer experience. Brick and mortar, you have to, even if your price is the exact same online, the value you're providing to that customer is tremendously more than the money that they're spending.
Totally.
And then if you have a business online, same thing. The value you're providing to the customer has to be way more than the money that they're spending. It's providing value, right? So, yeah. I mean, anything else that separates you guys a little bit from anything?
I don't.
So you're talking about innovation, in technology. Tell me about the technology, because we're just adding technology into Fit Republic too.
Yeah. I mean, it's always changing. There's like new Botox out. There's like a new brand out. So those are questions that people have for us about their skin, or what is a chemical peel? What's a vampire facial? What are all of these things that the Kardashians are doing?
Vampire facial?
Yeah.
I'm getting that.
You like do PRP, you like pool your own blood, and then they do like microneedling and put your blood on your skin. So, I mean, we don't do that, but we're like a lot less invasive. But coming from the plastic surgery world, that was always something that like interests me. I think skin is so important, and kind of like how we take care of it. And people are buying products that aren't right for them at Target or online, and they're not inexpensive. And I'm like, you could do something that's like medical grade and so much better for you and for your problems or your issues that you have when you look in the mirror and you want to change. And so it's just kind of having that conversation with clients and giving them knowledge, right? Knowledge is power. And so I constantly tell my stylist, I'm like, you're not selling people things, you're educating them. And whether they choose to buy it or not, or they want to go online and buy it later, that's fine. But you need to tell them what is right to get the style that they want, or to take care of their dry hair, or what's going on with their skin issues. So we can provide, just like you guys probably do, of you can buy different protein powders, but what's going to be right for you and what's going to like be the perfect one for you that you love.
100% providing value to the customer. That is absolutely key. So let's tie this together a little bit. So beauty and fitness, beauty and the beast. How do we tie this together? Because I think they're actually super similar.
They are.
Where fitness is all about us being healthier and feeling good about the way that we look, right? So talk on how do you see that tying in fitness and beauty?
One of my like mantras is, you look good, you feel good. So when you do, you're going to the gym, you're putting in that time, you're eating healthy, you're doing great skincare, you're going to probably have a little bit more confidence whenever you're stepping out. You feel like you look good.
For sure.
And who doesn't want to look good? Anybody? Nobody here.
No hands came up.
So I think that taking care of yourself, whether it's beauty or fitness, and I think most people that are in the fitness world want some kind of beauty. They want to get a spray tan to show off more definition, or they want to have great hair. They're not spending all of that time on their body and eating healthy, and it's a commitment. I just started working out with a trainer last year now, and I never did any type of fitness in any realm at all.
Like I remember 10 years ago. Yeah.
It's yeah. I was like, there's no hiking. There's nothing that I was doing. So working out with her really like changed. She was like, the first day I worked out with her, she's like, when's the last time you worked out? I was like, I think I did a Pilates class like 7 years ago. I shook and I like never went back. So I think you're putting in that investment and time, and it's time and money and sacrifice that you're having to either get up early or cut out a happy hour at the end of the night with family and friends and spend time in the gym, that you're not going to now not take care of the rest of your body. You're not going to have a crappy haircut or like not be taking care of your skincare.
That's right. And
routine.
I agree 100%. It's like if you like the way that you look, you're going to be much happier in life and feel good. Like we were talking earlier, is I've got super out of shape because I got an injury. I don't like the way that I look. So I'm getting back in shape, and I'm going to kick Kayla's ass and say, calling you out. And I feel a lot better about what I might make a trip down to the Glam Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just feel more confident. And I think, let's be real, you do judge people off the way that they look in some capacity when they walk into the room or when you're meeting somebody. And a lot of times if somebody is really taking care of themselves, that might intrigue you. And you might want to walk up and say, like, I can't walk around with like my hair in a ponytail all the time. And
you could.
I mean, it could, but it doesn't really represent my brand so well.
100%. So yeah, I'm in the fitness industry. I got to represent that I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Kayla? No dad bod here. We got to get rid of that. And you're in the beauty industry. So you got to represent your knowledge too.
And there's a lot of times that conversations happen where people are like, your hair, like, what's going on? Like, they want to know more because they like something that I have on or have done my hair. I mean, I didn't do my hair, but somebody did my hair.
Someone did your hair. Yeah, 100%. So now you're 4 years into this business. It's starting to mature. It's starting to be successful. I'm sure you're not paying yourself what you want to be paying yourself.
For sure.
Because that's just owning a business.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you can give anybody that's looking to start a business into the beauty world, whether it be a product line, hair salon? Any advice for those guys?
I think rip the Band-Aid and do it. I think do research for sure. Like, you have to be the expert. And I think the biggest thing is to have passion about it, because if you're not passionate and you're doing it to make money, like, quit now. And
your why's got to be right. Right? It can't be just to make money.
No, because you're not going to make money for a long time. And I think the money that I do make, I reinvest in more staff or a new machine or new technology, new product line, whatever that is, I'm constantly reinvesting in versus paying myself. So I think work a stable job as long as you can while you're kind of building, growing, researching your business. Pocket as much money as you can in the beginning and be prepared to work your ass off and be poor.
Work
and no stability.
Way harder than you've ever worked in your life, and way more hours, and get paid literally like $1 an hour to do it. Yeah.
Way below minimum wage.
Way below.
You're like not even touching that.
And that's to build you guys. That's to start the business. But the reason why we start a business is to get to a point where we're making way more money, have way more freedom and time that we can spend than we would have been able to working that job, that career until you're 65 and hoping for retirement.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a big sacrifice, but I think that it's worth it. But you have to be passionate about what you're doing to be able to kind of maintain or like get through that sacrificing period where you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to like
There's
pay
so
the
much
electric bill tomorrow or like staff members or what, can I put more product on the shelves that I need to sell? So it's a lot of sacrifices in that first like year or two.
Yeah.
I had a really unhealthy mantra my first year of business. I was like 8 in 10 businesses closed their first year. 8 in 10.
That was in your mind.
8 in 10. I probably repeated it to myself like a million times a day.
Yeah. Well, you're right. So, and I say the same thing, 90% of businesses fail within the first year. 70% of businesses fail within 5 years. So you're almost out.
I'm almost out of it. Almost.
Yeah. And going back to what you had said is about if just rip the Band-Aid and do it. So I have a rule. There's an 80-20 rule, and there's a million 80-20 rules out there. But mine is if you're 80% of the way there of research and feeling like you're going to be successful, do it, because you'll never be 100%.
It's kind of, I always like relate it. I don't have children, but I relate it to having a child. Like, you're never ready, right? You can have a million different excuses of like why it's not the perfect time. You don't have the perfect job. You don't have the perfect house. You can think of a million reasons of why it's not like the perfect time. But then if you woke up pregnant one day, you would figure it
You
out.
just got to figure it out.
And so I'm like, it's kind of that way with business is there's always going to be some reason of why you can't or why you think you can't. So if you feel like you have an amazing product, you're passionate about it, you've done the research, you have the money to do it, do it.
Just jump in with 2 feet and go. A big point I want to make there is, shoot, where'd my thought go? I do this sometimes too.
I do it all the time.
We're talking about the 80-20 rule. It's gone. I don't know. Follow up on what you were saying and it'll come back.
So I think just diving in, I was like, dive in and just do it. And you'll figure it out along the way and you'll make it work or you don't. And I think maybe your point was about small businesses failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Percentages.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
I was like, that's what you were talking about before you asked.
That's what I was talking about. Okay. Yeah. So, small businesses, most businesses fail and most businesses can't be sold. Here's the advice I want to give someone. Because of entrepreneurship's glorified, and I think we're doing a good job of painting that negative picture of businesses, right?
It's really great.
It's a little bit, I mean, be happy being a number 3 in the company. It's self-perception. It's how you perceive yourself. If it's not skewed, like if you don't think you're a Bill Gates when you're really like the number 100th, you know what I mean? Like you have to understand who you are. Number 3 is great. You can make a great living at number 3 in a company, 6 figures, benefits, 401k. But if you're born as a number 1, not being the number 1, not owning your business is like death.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me.
It is.
Yeah.
I think you kind of lose a little bit of passion for maybe the industry that you're in. I think that you just know, like you said, if you are meant to do something more and be your own boss.
Yep.
Figure it out.
We have any questions coming through on any lives? Lyndsay, do you have anything? Cool. You have anything else you want to talk about, tell the viewers about? All right.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I want to be on your podcast. And
yes.
Podcast. Yeah. Before I wrap this up is marketing is a big piece of business.
It's true.
We've both started a podcast at similar times. What's your experience with podcasting? Do you think everyone should podcast?
I think it's kind of one of those new ways. So I saw Gary Vee. Do you know?
Love Gary Vee.
So I saw him when he was in Denver last year, and he was like, go out and do it. And it doesn't cost you much to do a podcast or to do social media. So it's a way. So I used it as a way to kind of do my own thing because I think like everybody can provide a service in my business and I get to run that business and manage it and choose like products and different things. But I wanted to do something that was kind of like my own. And so the podcast was what was born. So Business of Glam, we've been doing for a little under a year-ish time frame. And it's been an amazing way to like connect with other entrepreneurs, be able to help build brand awareness for Glam Bar. I mean, hey, you learned about it, right?
That's how I learned about it. Yeah.
So I think it's just another like great creative outlet that you can have to hit the marketplace and help build your brand.
Absolutely. And let's face it, we're not going backwards.
Right.
Video, content creation, that's what the future is. And on the personal side is I've got all this knowledge of all the failures that I've had. How can I help as many people as possible? This is the way to do it. That's my give back is why I'm doing a podcast. But on the more of the business side of it, it opens up so much opportunity for me. Yeah. Is to build Kurt Belding as a brand. Now, if I go out and do anything, like if I have more views or more attention on what I'm doing, anything I start, anything I do is going to be, the percentage of being successful is going to be a little bit more. Right. So
I agree.
Yeah.
We became brands and building a brand.
That's right. And Gary Vee, we talked about Gary Vee. He's the top of his funnel. Yeah. He builds his personal brand to help funnel everything he's doing. Yeah. So, and I need to have a videographer walk around with me all day long, watching me scratch my butt. And
seriously. We're always like, we need a reality show. And then I was like, does anybody actually really want to watch this?
Right.
I don't know. It's entertaining in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of days that I'm like, what are we doing? What's happening? And it still happens even 3.5 years into business. There's days that I'm like, what's our next move? Right. And I think it's important just to sit back and remember the why.
Remember the why. Why is the most important. That's where foundation comes from. That's the most important. And, talking about podcasts and have someone follow you around, like, I want to do it not to try to portray myself as being,
totally
next Gary Vee. Absolutely not. I want to show me with my head down on the desk, freaking the hell out. I want to show real raw entrepreneurship and what it really is. That's what I want to do.
Well, and I think something that I found this Girl Boss networking group that is like so incredible, and it's like become the sisterhood. And really what it became was that we all got together, and when you're out networking and you can't be like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to make payroll or like what I'm doing. You're there to build brand awareness. And so you're successful. You're in that different mindset of, hey, this is a really great place. You want to come here. And not that because you're having little failures along the way that you're not a great place or a great business. It's that startup of creating a new business and getting those years under your belt. And so we became like the sisterhood of being able to be like, I have a problem with the staff member. How do I address it? What would you do? And it became like this bitch session that we all got to like sit around and be like, this is what's really going wrong, or like what's really going right. Yeah. And like we were able to celebrate or give support to each other when things weren't going well or they needed advice on how to deal with a staff member, how to build more business, whatever that could be. And so we just all became like huge supporters. Yeah. And that was kind of my why of the podcast was you're not alone. So if you are laying with your head down on your desk, there's probably, we've either been there, done that, or like, and can help pick you back up from that. You're not alone.
Entrepreneurship is a very lonely world. You're the number one. Like, most people can't relate with someone. And I realized that about a year ago. Yeah. And it was one of like a super sad day for me. I was like, I'm different. Who I am is, I'm not the same as other people. Whether it be good or bad, I don't know. But I'm super different. And it's a very lonely place to be. So you found a group of people that are like you.
Exactly.
And you belong. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's a lonely world. You kind of have to learn. One of my biggest struggles starting my business was, what kind of leader am I? I always took direction from somebody else, and I was the leader that they needed me to be or wanted me to be. And now I can kind of create that. So what do I want to create in an environment for my team?
Company culture. You're 100% in control of that. Yeah. So Lyndsay, to wrap up this BCE show, what's the future for you?
Oh man, there's so many things that I want to do. I'm kind of starting into the works of creating our own product line and starting to research some labs and want to create some products that are branded for us, and some lacks that I see in the marketplace for some products that need to be out there. So that's probably like our biggest thing.
See the problem, fix the problem. That's entrepreneurship right there. That's great. So your own product line. Anything else you got in the works?
Just kind of growing and building some more, celebrating our 4th year of business for Glam Bar, and creating more content for Business of Glam. We want to do, we do a Facebook Live every Tuesday called Beauty and Bubbles. And so we want to create a podcast of Beauty and Bubbles where we sit around and have cocktails and talk beauty and answer questions.
The bubbles come in?
Champagne.
Oh, champagne. I was literally.
It's the booze.
You guys are going to blow bubbles?
We're blowing bubbles. So we all sit around and talk about like what's out there or what reality TV stars are doing or what you're kind of seeing on Instagram, those social media sites. And so who's doing what, and we want to talk about it and give you our input.
Yeah. I think that's super important. And again, you're giving back and providing value. Yeah. So here's the plug for you.
Okay.
Is anybody watching this video, if you're local in Denver, how can they find you? Where are you at? And socials, plug away.
So Glam Bar Denver is our website, our Facebook and Instagram. And then Business of Glam, if you want to listen, we're on iTunes and Spotify. So businessofglam.com, you can get in touch with us there, or Business of Glam on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right. Yeah. You heard it, guys. Check them out. I may go down there later this week and get beautified.
Yeah, please do.
All right, that is the Ask the BCE Show, episode 33. I'm your host, Kurt Belding, and my guest, Lyndsay Wilson. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.